From the grounds of Collingswood High School in Collingswood, New Jersey, Channel 5 Sports presents high school football. Tonight, the Collingswood Panthers host the Woodbury Thundering Herd. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Shawn Leary. Football season once again, and we have a great opener here in the Colonial Conference as Collingswood hosts Woodbury. Two teams very talented. Collingswood ranked number 5 in one preseason poll. Woodbury boasting maybe some of the most weapons that they've had in years. Should be a good one.
Yeah, and you look at this game, and we always try to key on a nice game early in the season. Everyone's pumped up. I mean, this is football. We've been waiting for this all summer. I know everyone's excited about getting the summer over and getting into football, and this is what you really want to see. You want to see two good teams early in the season face off against one another. When you have Woodbury coming into a game like this, where Collingswood, a nice year last year, you have Woodbury coming in, it's a test for them. They get to see, do we have the horses to be able to run us through the season and get us into the playoffs and maybe run at that Group 1 title. For Woodbury, this is a huge game. For Collingswood, it could be a trap game. You look at Woodbury coming from last year and Collingswood, this looks like it should be Collingswood being favored. But you never know what's going to happen. It's week 1, and anybody can win it. Everyone is 0-0.
Well, 2006 should be a big year for Lamar Lancaster, the speedy outside receiver for this Woodbury Thundering Herd. They're going to try to give him as many touches as possible.
Well, he's LL. He's real smooth. This is a guy not only on offense, he's a weapon, but also on special teams. He's run a lot of kickoffs back during his career, but when he's a special player, we've seen him over the last 3 or 4 years really develop. This is his breakout year. Lamar Lancaster is going to be a big name. You're going to see his name in the headlines a lot. He's a special player. It's a guy that when he touches the ball, he can break one long. He's got great breakaway speed. He has very good moves, great field vision. He's just that natural athlete. Every once in a while, Gloucester County, we get a couple of kids every year who can really do some big things on the field, and Lamar Lancaster is one of those guys this year. He really developed last season into a big play type player. Now this is his senior season. I think as Woodbury goes, you're going to see Lamar Lancaster go, because he really needs to have a very good season for Woodbury and those other players, those role players, guys like Shawnee Kersey, all those other type players, to have a good season. He's going to be the nucleus, and then everything else surrounds him.
For Collingswood, you mentioned a tough schedule to start. First against Woodbury, then Paulsboro, then West Deptford. Very front-loaded. And for Collingswood, they're going to need leadership. We spoke about wide receiver for the Woodbury squad. Well, Pierre Robinson was a wide receiver last year for this Collingswood team. He now takes over the reins as quarterback. He will have to provide some leadership.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best athletes in the conference. And what Pierre does is he comes in from that wide receiver position, and playing that front-loaded schedule could be tough for Collingswood, because you want this guy, once he comes in from that wide receiver position, it's a new position for him. He has the tools and the skills to be a good quarterback, but how he develops early in the season will really be the question. When you have all those tough teams that you face early on, that's a tough test. Now you bring a guy in from wide receiver, you put him at quarterback, you're hoping that he can adapt to the position. But the one thing about Collingswood is they have a lot of good players coming back. They have a very good defense. They lost a lot at the linebacker spot, but they do have all those skill positions coming back. They have a couple of guys that are coming back like Pierre who can lead this team. But early on, it's going to count. Collingswood, if they're going to have a big year, they need to do well early, and then everything will be gravy as the season wears along. But Collingswood is one of the top teams. When you look at the preseason schedule, you look at Collingswood as being one of the top teams in the Colonial.
Well, Coach Zach Valentine of Woodbury feels very good about this team. Collingswood very confident, feeling that they will perhaps go for that Group 2 title when it's all said and done. It's Wood on Wood. We'll have it for you right after this on Channel 5 Sports. Welcome back to Collingswood High School. Kickoff was returned by Thomas Kersey, and Woodbury starts in very good field position at their own 40-yard line. First down and 10 for the Thundering Herd. Collingswood High School. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. And first game all the time, a few jitters on these first few series, and trying to avoid turnovers will be key for each team, Shawn.
Yeah, you just don't want to make big mistakes early on in the game, and you're expecting it.
Ball thrown up, has a man, and it's caught. Shawnee Kersey, one of their big playmakers for this Woodbury team, right from the get-go. And you see Zach Valentine kind of pull something out of his sleeve here early. And you kind of got a sense that Coach Valentine feels very confident about this team. Very fun-loving before the game, as he typically is, but maybe even a little more so than usual. On that 32-yard reception, Woodbury now deep into Collingswood territory at their 28-yard line. First down and 10. Handoff breaks into the secondary and brought down. A big gain that should be enough for the first down.
Yeah, you got to love the call by Coach Valentine early on. But watch Kersey. I love the way he uses his body here. Nice job floating the ball out there, but Kersey's just going to make sure he comes down with the football. Not going to do too much after the catch, just making sure he puts his body in position so he's able to pull down the reception. And that's a sophomore, folks, looking like a senior, because when you make that catch there, that's a heady move. You make sure that you just get the catch, stay in bounds, and move the chains. A nice start early on for Woodbury, and a nice call, especially to loosen things up. You know, it's been a great camp for Woodbury. They come out, you try to get one deep and give your team a little confidence.
First and 10 once again, inside handoff, and again brought down by the secondary. First play not earning a first down, but a big chunk nonetheless. And right now, Woodbury's offensive line blowing up the Panther D-line.
There you see Zach Valentine, good call by him. And also good throw by William Latane. You know, it was a little bit behind him, but it's a nice call because you get him, you get your quarterback. You know, he's coming into the position this year, and you give him a little bit of confidence, Rob. Early on in the game, I think it's a great call to loosen him up like that.
Pitch, and trying to cut it back, still on his feet, brought down from behind, and that looked to be Lancaster.
Yeah, that was him, and he does a nice job on Jesse Hamrick. Hamrick, number 32, is going to come in. And Lancaster, and this is what good backs, I think, really do, is they're able to make that first person miss. He's able to cut back upfield and gain like 3 or 4 yards. And to me, that's a good back. If you're able to negate that loss or maybe just stop at the line of scrimmage and you gain 3 or 4 yards, that really goes a long way in the game. Especially you want a guy who can hit the home run, and Lancaster can do both.
First down and 10 here for the Thundering Herd. Again, a handoff, it's a fumble. It falls out, and Woodbury falls on it. Lancaster able to be Johnny on the spot. That could have been a catastrophic turnover for Woodbury, as they really had the momentum, able to fall on it, but now they're pushed back a long second down and goal.
What did you say? Something about early on mistakes? Early in the game, you get a quarterback, although they've had some preseason, a couple of scrimmages. That time, that's the quarterback's fault. He's got to be able to put that ball right into the rib cage of the running back. Lancaster doesn't get the handoff, and heads up play by him, able to jump on it. Woodbury still with a chance here on second down.
Lancaster split right as the flanker. Drop. Throwing to the corner, has a man, it's up, and it's caught, no. In and out of the hands, but a nice pass.
Yeah, I think that's James Gullidge trying to look for in the corner, and Gullidge not able to come up with it. But between him and Kersey, that's some good size on the outside. Gullidge at 6'1", Kersey with good size also. And that's why you can throw that ball up there. Woodbury trying to get that little fade rack on there. You see Bob Baricki, the coach of Collingswood, guy who's got a lot of fire.
Third down for Harvey and the Thundering Herd. Split left, it's Shawnee Kersey. Penalty flag down, a lot of time thrown up as a man, and just out of the reach of Lancaster, but a penalty flag on the play.
And there are flags on the play.
I'm calling neutral zone infraction right now. I'm going to come out strong.
First
early
one
part
of well, as much as things change, they stay the same. Fourth down and goal. Now, we talked to Coach Valentine before the game, asked him about kicking a field goal.
Illegal formation. Decline.
Fourth and goal for Woodbury from the Collingswood 15-yard line.
I still think it was a neutral zone infraction.
And he said he would try a field goal, but apparently out of the Ranger would not give us the range of Kersey, his kicker. Fourth down, in motion Lancaster. Woodbury now getting pressure and cutting it back is Harvey, and sacked is Harvey. So that ends up going back to the 22-yard line, and Brian Dillard on the tackle.
Nonetheless, I mean, nice opening drive. You want to cap that off with some points, especially if you're able to drive it down there, getting yourself in position. But, you know, this is where you, defensively now, you just got to kind of close the door on them and keep that field position in your favor. Woodbury, over the years, they've always had a pretty good defense. Collingswood boasting one of the better defenses last year.
Right up the gut, it's Pierre Robinson still on his feet, driving, and finally cut down. Not much trickery there. Pierre Robinson bullying his way forward for about 12, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. So it's been all offense, and it was Woodbury's botched handoff that kind of took the air out of that drive. Now Collingswood starts right up where Woodbury left off. First and 10 for Pierre Robinson, the senior. 6'1", 202.
He's a junior, isn't he? Now they got him as a senior.
Handoff, off tackle, and cutting through some herd. And finally knocked down is Peter Algaba, the senior running back. Picks up about 4.
My people told me he was a junior.
You need to talk to your people.
I got to talk to my people, yeah.
Algaba gains 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for Collingswood.
How about it, Rob? Football, September. Got to be excited about this. Good game. Start off with Collingswood, Woodbury. This is a big game for both teams. You know, these teams want to get on track. You look at this game, probably one of the 2 top teams in their respective divisions in the Colonial Conference.
Inside handoff into the secondary, driving forward and finally brought down is Brad Klein, but not before a first down. So the Panthers continue to drive. 7:25 left in this first quarter. Season opener for both teams and for Comcast Channel 5.
There you see the mascot, the Panther.
Which Lancaster?
Fumble, Robinson picks it up and finds a little seam to push it forward maybe 5 yards. And what you've seen from Pierre Robinson already, you have to like. A lot of 2nd and 3rd efforts.
Well, he's a tough kid. He's got another kid with decent size. You see him there. This is I mean, you can see he looks like a wide receiver, but he's such a good athlete. You put him at quarterback, and you can do a lot of different things with him. You know, one of the things Woodbury has to be careful of now is they're trying to pound it on the inside. One of these times, he's going to fake the handoff and roll to the outside. You need, as an outside linebacker and the safeties, they got to come up and make sure that he doesn't get to the outside.
Pitch and a fumble, and cut down deep into his backfield. That was Dillard, and this is exactly what stalled the Woodbury drive earlier.
Well, talking with Zach Valentine before the game, he said you got to limit mistakes and not make mistakes. You know, two of the things you got to do early in the game, and this is it right here. And these are the things, and that's another pitch where you got 2 quarterbacks coming into the first game as the starters, not getting the job done. That time you got to make sure it gets to the breadbasket of the ball carrier. You got to flip it out there and make sure you don't want to throw him a knuckleball in that situation.
I think Dillard looked like he may have peaked up at the
probably a little bit to the running back.
Certainly a catchable ball. So
he definitely should have had it.
Long 3rd down here, and Robinson getting some pressure. Out of the pocket, has a man in the flat, and that'll be enough for the first down. So Robinson shows some of that arm strength. And you see the crowd here on hand. First time we've done a game here at Collingswood, Shawn?
Yep, first time I've been here.
have a
Nice field.
bleacher set up. Both teams are on the same side, so they kind of split the bleachers here.
Both fans, not both teams.
Yes, that's correct. First down and 10. Robinson. Again, the handoff inside, and right now Collingswood starting to open up holes as Brad Klein picks up 8 or 9 yards. And both teams seem to be getting a good push from their offensive line.
For 8 yards. To the Woodbury 35-yard line. 2nd and 2 for Collingswood.
2nd and 2 for the Panthers. We mentioned before, Collingswood picked by Sam Carchidi from the Philadelphia Inquirer to meet West Deptford in the South Jersey Group 2 Championship. So heady stuff here for the Panthers, a program that has not had the most success over the past few years. Robinson, quarterback draw, and he'll be just shy of that first down.
That's what you get, a couple of good years. And, starting from last year, the linebackers were terrific. One of the better defenses, not only in the Colonial Conference, but also in Group 2. And you were able to see what they did against Deptford. A pretty potent team with a lot of different skill positions that can hurt you. Collingswood was able to win that game. And a lot of people think that Collingswood isn't a one-year wonder, that they're going to be a team over the next 2 or 3 years. When you're able to get a little bit of momentum going, Rob, sometimes, you get a crop of kids, a group of kids that are pretty good athletes like Pierre Robinson in this group. The group before them also last year seniors, and it kind of all runs together.
False start. 3rd down.
You look at all the laundry out there, all the flags. You think someone spotted that penalty? It looked like your college dorm room, all the laundry laying around.
You were never in my college dorm room.
No, but I heard.
Way older than me. Way older than me.
3rd down now and 6. Robinson on the option, cuts it inside, and the Woodbury line holds. So Barikian and the Panthers will have a decision here as to punt or go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, it's probably a wise move. Probably punt it here, pin Woodbury back. Put your defense on the field. In a 0-0 game, you don't want to reverse field right now. You were able to push the ball out of your own end. With 3 minutes here in the first quarter still remaining.
Well, it looks like they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We're keeping track now. That's 0 for 2.
I'm on record as I would punt here.
Robinson. Little end around. And big hit laid out. And stopped as Peter Algaba will step away as the Woodbury line holds. 2:48 left, first quarter. Woodbury, Collingswood, scoreless. Welcome back to Collingswood High School. Opener for both teams. Scoreless. 2:48 left, first quarter. Opener for Channel 5, and the pitch, and goes so close. Lamar Lancaster almost breaking that.
Yeah, did you see the cut on him? And that's what he does for you. I talked about the field vision in the open. Is he gives that little move right there and freezes the defender in his tracks. He cuts back off field, gets those extra yards. He should have been probably stopped in the backfield, but because he's such a gifted athlete, he's going to give you about 3 or 4 extra yards and set you up in second in something manageable other than 2nd and long.
2nd and 7. 2 wide out, split right. For Harvey. Harvey will hand it off, and just not much there. Maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage was James Bundy. Of course, Bundy, some impressive bloodlines.
That play misses 1 yard.
Yep. His father, Jimmer Bundy, back in my day, Jimmer Bundy used to...
That shows you how old you are.
What are you saying, Jimmer Bundy's old?
No.
I wouldn't say that. I remember how big he was in high school. Jimmy Bundy was an outstanding running back. One of the big, bruising backs. Little ball, I believe it Pitt. Screen set up there.
Screen and almost throwing it into the arms of the Collingswood Panthers is Harvey. I tell you what, Seth Payne, he'll be thinking about that one for the rest of the season. You just don't get too many opportunities as a defensive lineman to pick it off and maybe go in the other direction.
Yeah, it's 6'1", 295. He doesn't touch the ball much.
No,
That
he
time
is
he had a
not on the
legitimate
good
shot.
hands team.
No, he's not.
1:15 left here, first quarter, and Woodbury will punt it away. Our first punt of the evening. Short hop, picked up, still time, and not much of a punt here. And it looks like it hit a Woodbury Thundering Herd player in the head. It's not a play you see every day, Sean.
Nah, I think Gullidge got caught on top of his helmet. Woodbury trying to call for call that possibly maybe it hit a Collingswood player and they're able to jump on it. Not going to get the call there. Only a couple of games on tap this first, as they call it, 0 week in high school, but this is a great week. You start off with a little football. You have the NFL coming up this Sunday. You have Zach Valentine on. I mean, what better to come out and see a Woodbury football game with Zach Valentine?
Right after the Steelers played last night.
Yep, I asked him about that. He said he didn't know the Steelers played.
He follows the Steelers still very closely. Of course, was a member of that Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steeler dynasty. Impressive linebacker, special teams player. Really enjoys coaching here at Woodbury High School.
He's special, all right.
Yes.
Mind. It's going to be first down for Collingswood.
When I tell you what, you can probably pick any sport. Zach Valentine's one of the better personalities in sports.
He's a lot of fun.
You're not going to get much from him before the game, but like I told you, you don't go and ask him questions. You just go and be entertained by him. Because he's going to make you at least give you a couple of laughs. He's going to give you a couple of laughs.
He was out there throwing passes to his wide receivers. You can see he's kind of reliving his childhood days, wanting to be a quarterback.
He's still in great shape.
He is. Klein on the carry. Nice pickup, about 7.
And I'll tell you, all kidding aside, he really connects with his players too. I think they have a lot of respect for him. The community really enjoys seeing a guy like that, I think, coaching a team. A guy who can connect with the players, who knows the game, can have a little fun, takes it serious but not so serious where you don't make it fun. I mean, it is high school football. You really want to develop the kids. You want to win games, but also you want to make it fun. You want for them to be able to enjoy themselves, and especially Woodbury where you don't have numbers.
First down. Again, a quarterback draw, and Robinson will pull the line forward for a first down. 15 seconds remain in this first quarter. The clock is stopped as they move the chains.
Especially a team like Woodbury, you got guys who are playing both ways. You're asking a lot from them. You're very demanding. And when you have that, the least you could do is make it a little bit fun for them and joke around with them once in a while, because you can't, with teams guys going both ways and giving it all, you really need to keep loose, and so it's not always work.
That will end things here in the first quarter. We are scoreless as we head to break. Collingswood and Woodbury back in a moment. Welcome back to Collingswood High School. We start the second quarter with a play that, to say was slow developing, would be a vast understatement. Brad Klein, waiting to get the handoff from Pierre Robinson, ends up losing 2 or 3 yards. So second down here in the second quarter. Ball spotted at about the 37 of Woodbury.
Great night.
Peter Algaba getting some treatment from the trainer. He's one of the starting running backs here for the Panthers. So keep an eye on that. Second down for Robinson. Robinson pitches, strung out to the sideline, tightrope, and step down after picking up about 5 yards. It was Twana Austin.
I talked about before we went to break that, Woodbury and the numbers that they have and guys going both ways. And tonight's a good night for Woodbury. What you see a lot, especially early in the season, Rob, is especially if a team's going both ways, is they get kind of run down. It's hot. You start getting a little, some cramps will maybe creeping in. You get guys who are going both ways. It's early in the year. You're trying to shake off the summer a little bit. And for Woodbury to open up on a Friday night, I think helps them a little bit. We've seen them on Saturday afternoons early in the year, and that doesn't help them.
Robinson has a man in and out of the hands of Twan Austin. It's a pass Austin should have held on to. Robinson did a good job sensing the rush from the blind side and laying it right into the hands of Austin. That'll bring up a 4th down and perhaps the first punt of the evening for the Panthers. Collingswood favoring the run as we would expect. First 15 plays, just 2 passes from Robinson.
This is where Lancaster can be very dangerous. For Collingswood, you don't want to just assume that Lancaster is going to fair catch here down deep in his own territory. This is a guy who's very dangerous. You have to bust it down there and make sure you're able to get a hold of him.
This has to be either a timeout or a delay of game, and I'm surprised Woodbury calls timeout because Collingswood was very close to getting a delay of game. So this is typical of what you see in the first game. Although you've had a couple scrimmages, still working the kinks out. Woodbury took on Middle Township and Bishop Eustace in the preseason. Coach Valentine very pleased with what he saw. Bishop Eustace had shown well in the preseason. And, again, anytime you're Woodbury, you're going to play a school that's bigger than you are. So any test is going to be a good one.
You look at Woodbury, Rob, and you can match them up as far as the skill guys with anybody around. Kersey is a superstar in the making. Bundy's a nice player. Lancaster is as good as any back that you're going to find. But one of the problems is the depth on the team. Do you have enough hogs down in the line in the trenches to make sure that you're going to be able to move some people around and not wear it down as games continue? Here you see Panthers a little bit of a time possession advantage, and that doesn't bode well for Woodbury. Those are the things that we're talking about, is when you don't hold on to the football and you got them guys on defense and you're starting to wear down a little bit defensively, that's when toward the end of the game you can have some problems.
Austin has trouble, and he's going to try to run it, and he'll be brought down all the way back into Collingswood territory. So Austin dropping a pass earlier and now dropping a good snap, and that results in a huge loss, approximately 14 yards, and Woodbury finds itself all of a sudden from being pinned back perhaps inside the 20-yard line to having great field position at the 49 of the Panthers.
This game is it's like one of them fights you see where in the first round, everyone's throwing a couple of jabs, you're missing a couple, it look a little sloppy, no one's going for any big punches. Now, Woodbury came out throwing a nice right, but they haven't come out with anything else. It's where you expected, maybe.
Harvey hands off inside, not much there. That's the type of play, Shawn, that when you read the paper the next day and look at the box score, it's not something that really shows up. It's not a turnover, and yet essentially that is a turnover.
No, absolutely. It turns the field completely around, and now you have a chance. But this is where you have to take advantage of that. And this is where Woodbury has to be creative with their, here you see the 30 yards pretty even. This is where Woodbury has to be a little bit creative in their offense and try to get on top of Collingswood. That gives your team a little momentum, a little bit of confidence.
Second down, in motion again, Lancaster. And Harvey stays on his feet, looks to drive forward, picks up about 3. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Number 8, Dante Harvey on the sack, carry. Once again, tackled by number 11, Theo Robinson. Gain of 3 on the play. 3rd and 6.
Team's pretty evenly so far offensively. You saw the graphic earlier, 46 yards to 45 yards. And they've been able to get a couple of drives. But one of the things you need is that knockout. And that could come from Lancaster or any one of these big-time weapons.
Screen set up, and it's just not developing. As running out of territory is Woodbury's Shawnee Kersey, and you could see that that's a case where the Woodbury line just gave a little bit too much, and it took so long to develop, and there was just so much rush from that Collingswood line that play was never going to work.
Yeah, and you really have to sell this a little bit better, too. And this is something, again, it comes with time. So you got to sell it. All right, he's going to drop back. He keeps dropping back, and he doesn't do a bad job. But the offensive line has to sell that a little better. You have guys shooting through there like Kyle Falzone. Falzone's a pretty heady player, a junior, 6'1", 228 pounds. One of the guys who are coming back for this team. You got to sell a little bit better and make sure that he comes full through the line and you're able to pass over top.
Low line drive is down at the 21-yard line. Collingswood will start over here 1st and 10 with 8:34 left in this first half. So defensive battle at this point. We talked about the weapons that each team has, but each team kind of shooting itself in the foot, stalling drives.
I do like the call, though, that screen. You expect Collingswood to be coming after him a little bit, so you draw him in, throw over the top. Kersey's a terrific athlete. You try to get him involved in the offense. That's a good spot to do it. Just you got to execute a little bit better than that.
1st and 10 for Robinson and the Panthers. Robinson, the quick hitter inside the Klein, and that'll pick up a couple. Well, we talked about Collingswood, picked by sports writer Sam Carchidi, perhaps to reach the South Jersey Group 2 finals and would meet West Deptford. Conversely, he had Woodbury meeting Paulsboro in Group 1, so he expects an all-Colonial Conference Group 1 and Group 2 matchup. How about you?
Well, you can see that on Comcast. We still have a preview that's going to be coming up this week. We're letting everyone see a couple of games first, see what's going on. Then we're going to bang with a preview here on Comcast.
Would it then be a preview?
Yeah, it's still a preview.
Oh.
Too worry about it.
It'd be like an intermission?
No, preview.
Okay.
There's plenty of teams who haven't played yet. You're just going to get, Gateway and West Deptford playing a couple Colonials, but no one's going to know from these games what's really going on. You want to know what's going on, you watch the Comcast preview.
No doubt about that. Who's going to be on that Comcast preview?
I'd say John Mondelli.
And?
Myself.
All right, that's good watching.
A lot of other kids.
Good stuff. 3rd down. And a little trickery there, goes absolutely nowhere. And a penalty flag now as some extracurricular activity going on.
I like the West Deptford pick. I think West Deptford's, a lot of people have said that as much as they have lost, I think their defense is going to carry them, which is kind of interesting because over the last couple of years, the offense, I don't know if people know it, this is one of the best offenses in the history of South Jersey, what West Deptford's been able to do over the last couple of years. I think it's the defense that's going to carry this team. And I think they are going to get back to the final.
Of course, they lost Cordell Young, who was just an absolute talent that we were able to watch since his freshman year, really had an impact on that West Deptford offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct here against Collingswood and also against Woodbury, offsetting penalties. So what's interesting up at Rutgers is, of course, they come up with a big win over North Carolina, and 3 big freshmen are going to play major roles for that Rutgers team, and all of them from Gloucester County. Ryan D'Imperio from Washington Township, George Johnson and Cordell Young, who kind of fell into the lap of head coach Schiano, as both were headed to Virginia, end up both going to Rutgers.
Well, I don't think that he didn't try to recruit them either. He tried, but it didn't work out for him initially. But you're right, falling into the lap is a good way to put it. When you have that type of talent coming in from South Jersey, that bodes well for Rutgers.
6:42 left, first half. We're scoreless here at Collingswood. Welcome back. Collingswood High School. Colonial Conference opener. Woodbury visiting Collingswood. 2 teams amongst the best in their collective groups. A little dancing inside and picking and choosing, dancing, shaking, and Bundy picks up about 5. So 15 plays now for Woodbury, and showing some diversity. 9 runs, 6 passes. Of course, they started the game with a big 32-yard hookup from Dante Harvey.
See Coach Valentine.
A little misdirection play, putting his head down and bowling over the defensive back is Thomas Kersey, 5'10" junior, picking up what should be a first down. It is.
It's a good tough run by him. I like what he does here. This is the little things I think that you're looking at. Having a back, you want him to do those little things right. He knows where the sticks are. He's just going to power his way to the sticks, move the chains, give your team a chance for another 4 downs. And you like that of a tough run from a guy who, he may not get the bulk of your carries, but a guy when he does touch the ball, he's going to try and get something positive for your team.
And penalty flags once again. We may have a procedure penalty here.
Delay a game.
The 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15 for Woodbury.
That's the type of penalty you just hate to see as a coach.
And we've been saying that both these teams have made mistakes to stall drives. That's one you look back on, you say, we need to limit these things when we have the opportunity to get into the red zone, try and score some points. You want to get up early in this game. 5:19 left in the second half. Again, I still say these teams are throwing little jabs at each other.
Nobody outside of you.
Lancaster, motion used as a decoy.
Nothing there.
Just
Good defense.
not much there for James Bundy.
Yeah, good job. Seth Payne that time coming on, along with a couple of his guys. Payne, again, 6'1", 295. He had an opportunity earlier to make a big play. This time he sniffs that out. Nice job by the linebackers to converge on the play.
Bundy, a transfer from Deptford. Second down, 16 for the Herd. Harvey directing this drive once again as we approach the 4:40 mark remaining in this first half. We are still scoreless. Up the pass, Harvey, good protection, flushed out of the pocket. Throws inside, has Lancaster, cuts back on a dime and finally cut down, picking up some positive yards. And that'll still bring up a long 3rd down for the Herd.
That doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but what it does is with Harvey, gives him a little bit of confidence. You're able to get a play where you roll out, you make something happen. Your first read wasn't there. Looks like Lancaster might have been his second look. And he tries to find something to the outside, to his left. He rolls back out. It's nothing big, but it's a little pass that's going to give you some positive yardage, especially for a young quarterback who played wide receiver a la Pierre Robinson. Confidence is a big thing.
Harvey again back to pass, throws it up deep, and it's a jump ball, and coming down with it is Alston. Well, that's a touchback. Austin's had some problems here earlier. He makes the toughest of the 3 plays and pulls down the interception. So again, a turnover here for Woodbury, and that will result in a change of possession. Collingswood will take over at their 20-yard line with 3:41 left. And again, we'll see if that momentum changes and if Collingswood is able to put together a drive.
Remember that confidence I was talking about? Now gone.
So 1st and 10, we have not seen Coach Barikian favor the pass here. So they may try to orchestrate a drive all on the ground. Robinson again, inside handoff, driving forward, not a whole lot there, maybe 3 or 4 yards.
You almost get the sense that Collingswood is trying to wear down Woodbury, pounding it on the inside. I think they realize, and this is a smart game plan. You come into the game thinking Woodbury, it's the beginning of the year. This is a team where guys have to go both ways. Let's try and pound them, work them down, wear them down, and by the second half, maybe someone's able to break them. And I think that's what Brickies do. Is we're talking about. I keep referring to the fight. This is just breaking a guy down, and maybe later on in the game, you're looking for that big play, that big knockout play.
Nothing there for Klein. Big stop made by Thomas Kersey, and that brings up a big 3rd down. As the clock continues to move, we're down to 2:50 remaining in this first half, and if Woodbury can hold here, they'd have very good field position. We've already seen that Valentine somewhat hesitant about using his kicking game, so they would probably have to push it in pretty close in order to get 3. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. 3rd down for Robinson and the Panthers. Robinson, quick drop, quarterback draw. Robinson into the secondary. Robinson up for the 1st down. So again, Barikian does not favor the pass, but Robinson more than worthy on the ground.
Nice job by him. He's just going to pull that one back and find a little seam. Again, knowing where the sticks are, knowing where you have to get for a 1st down, you give yourself a new set of downs and another opportunity. More importantly for them, they don't have to punt now. Back in their own end.
Inside of 2 minutes now, Robinson directing the Panthers as they have the ball in their own territory. Austin cuts it outside with some room and avoids Lancaster, but still picks up a big chunk, 37-yard line. And that's the biggest gain from the line of scrimmage today for the Panthers.
Little Derek Scott, number 21, on the outside, 5'8", 173. A senior is going to make a great block. And that's going to propel Austin to the outside for a big gainer, but it all starts with blocking even at the wide receiver position. You always talk about blocking on the interior part, especially that offensive line, but sometimes the wide receiver can really spring a big play.
Line inside and absolutely nothing doing there. And a timeout is called here.
You're going to see Austin to the outside. Watch number 21 here. This is a good block downfield. He's able to seal that corner. And then Austin has all that room to the outside, cuts it back in. One spot there is he's holding the football pretty tightly, and that's important. Sometimes you always make the point of the guy who doesn't hold it tightly and he gets the fumble out there, but he does a nice job securing the football. Even though Woodbury's coming from behind, a lot of times you'll see it pop from the backside. Somebody will hit him from the backside, ball pop loose. Nice job by Austin there. Good play all around for Collingswood.
Relatively cleanly played game to this point. Let's talk a little bit about our men in stripes. We didn't do so at the top. Our referee, Hugh Gibson, our umpire, Jeff Gordon, Dennis D'Alessandro, and Rich Bakley on the line. Back judge, David Bauman, and on the clock, just to my left, Emery Markovich.
Good crew.
2nd down, about 10 here for the Panthers. And we have 1:25 remaining. You saw Barikian trying to urge him to get that play off in a hurry. They did. Woodbury was able to hold. And again, we'll see whether or not Collingswood is inclined to try the pass at any point here.
Woodbury doing a nice, they're not giving him anything on the inside. Got to give credit to some of these guys. Corey Hickman on the inside has done a pretty good job along with Robert Baldwin. Baldwin only a sophomore, Hickman a senior. They're clogging up a lot of space in the middle.
Quarterback draw, Robinson, and continues to bowl his way forward. They'll be close to a first down. And that's been the play that's perhaps been most successful for the Panthers here in this first half.
I think Woodbury will give that to them. You know, you go into the inside, 1:06 left here. Clock's still moving. If they're going to pick up 5 or 6 yards, pile up the middle, they'll take that because you're going up on 17, 18, 19 seconds. So you see Pierre Robinson, 7:41.
8th play of the drive, and Klein inside, not much there. So timeout here for the Panthers as they will have to determine whether or not they're going here or trying a very long field goal. Obviously 4-down territory with just 49 seconds remaining. And they have penetrated deep inside Woodbury territory. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line.
Collins calls it second time out of the half. They have 1 remaining. 49 seconds left.
And they moved the football back to about the 31, so about 3 yards to go.
Now you got to start thinking maybe they're going to try to go through the air, even pull Robinson back, allow him that option to pass or run.
Well, I didn't anticipate a scoreless game through this first half, and of course, Collingswood still has 49 seconds to put something up on the scoreboard. So 4th down for Robinson and the Panthers. 3 to go. And throws it up, has a man wide open, and it's knocked down, incomplete. Twan Austin was not covered down the sideline. If Robinson had spotted him, the Panthers would have had 6.
Yeah, Austin was wide open. They tried to go to the second guy coming in, and Lancaster does a terrific job closing on that play.
Well, we'll see whether Valentine is content to go to a knee and get to the locker room. Knowing Zach, though, he's probably going to have Harvey throw the ball.
Well, if he saw what happened last year on Comcast, he wouldn't do that. We saw a lot of crazy plays at the end of half.
This is true. First and 10 at the 31 for the Herd. Lancaster in motion, and the handoff into the secondary. One man to beat, still juking, and all the way deep into Collingswood territory is Woodbury's James Bundy. Well, you said it, Shawn.
Hey, we've seen it over the last year. You can do a lot of things at the end. It seems like the defense softens up. Here's a spot here. They're just going to get the ball to Bundy. Nice little quick handoff. Watch Bundy run here. This is nice moves. Little juke here, little step, freezes the man. Poor tackling there. Some poor tackling there. And Bundy moving the ball quickly downfield. Still 22 seconds.
Harvey getting some pressure out of the pocket and throws short. Intended for Shawnee Kersey with 17 seconds.
2nd and 8 for Woodbury.
I love watching the game and seeing the little things that happen. That time Bundy, after making a nice play, running the football, he's able to take out 2 Collingswood defenders that could have possibly converged, maybe sacked them, blew the play up. You never know what happens there. But those are the little things in the game that if you really pay attention, you see like Bundy making a play like that, and you have to appreciate what he just did there. And again, one of the things you're not going to see in the stat book, but as a coach, somebody who admires the game, that's a nice play by the back just to pick up 2 guys.
Well, you see that Woodbury still has 1 timeout remaining. Harvey 3 for 8 to this point with 1 interception, just 28 yards. Quick drop and sacked. Harvey sacked. Excellent penetration. Kyle Falzone busting through that Woodbury line, and a timeout called here by Woodbury. So they'll have 1 more opportunity with 9 seconds.
And sack goes for a 3-yard loss. And Woodbury calls timeout.
We have 9 seconds left. You have some athletes on the team, maybe air it out.
Well,
let's go to jump ball.
Let's play coach here. What are you trying to do here? What are you trying to accomplish?
Let's first take a look at that last play. I think we're going to have Robinson come from the edge this time on Harvey. And Harvey, no time whatsoever. You see Robinson on the top side of your screen, untouched. It's 202 pounds, 6'1" senior coming right at you. Able to pull down Harvey. Are you asking me what I would do here?
Yes. That was the question.
Oh, you really?
Sometime before they snap, right?
You really? Oh, I was going to see what Zach's doing.
Well, I think you have two options here. One is you let Harvey drop back and throw it up, Hail Mary style, or you just try to find a little seam underneath and let Lamar do his thing.
That's not a bad idea.
And a draw to Lamar. He is cut down deep in his own end with 2 seconds remaining. And that will do it for the first half. So a defensive battle. From the outset, it looked like both teams would be able to drive the ball, but the defenses have stepped up. We head to the locker room at halftime. We're scoreless here at Collingswood. Welcome back to Collingswood High School. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. About to begin the second half. We are scoreless here at Collingswood. Shawn, in all the years we've been working, we haven't had too many games that are scoreless ties at halftime. And penalty flags everywhere. First half, relatively even in terms of the offensive output. No score, and each gaining under 100 yards.
Yeah, they were dead even on the scoreboard. 2-0, you get it now?
Yes.
Little response from you. Just let me know that you're.
I was laughing. It just wasn't a hearty guffaw.
You know that I need, like, the hearty guffaw, for my confidence. I'm like the quarterbacks here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next one, I promise.
Yeah, give me a little something.
Like when you predict what they're going to call.
Yeah.
All right, kicking it away for Woodbury one more time will be Brian Bundy.
My confidence is shot for the second half.
Bundy kicks away the knuckleball, and this is going towards the sideline. This is not a good start.
Fielded by Coach Bricky.
Coach Valentine. It's going to be the Valentine's Day massacre if this continues.
Yeah, that won't make you happy at all. I mean, that's you want to try to, again, especially 0-0. You look at these two teams, field position is immensely important. You have a problem where you keep going backward, you give up that field position. You never know what the second half's going to hold, but the way the first half went, field position's everything.
Well, they're moving back another 5 yards.
Take it to the house, Brian!
So they'll have to kick from the 30-yard line. Coach Barikian confident in his return team, or perhaps maybe doubtful of the abilities of the Woodbury team.
Another penalty be kicking from Collings Avenue.
It's deep.
I'm done.
Bundy will kick it away. It's a line drive fielded at the 25. And right up the gut, Dillard, and he's cut down. A good return back to the 47-yard line for Brian Dillard and the Panthers. And Collingswood will start after that 22-yard return.
Return goes for 22 yards.
Collingswood having number 19 retrieve that football. It's Sean Coyle. He's kind of got the Troy Polamalu thing going on.
Oh, now you want something from me, huh?
I'm just asking for a little interplay.
No, I'm not giving you anything. You haven't laughed at either of my stupid jokes. I'm done with it. AC Hurd, 0-44, their starting field position. Panthers zone 31, but that's going to change a little bit here with this opening half possession.
I just want to see read that without using your finger.
Second down.
You know, that's when you get older, when you start using your finger to read. So you won't skip 4 lines while you read.
I see. I thought you thought it was Braille.
Plays forward for about 3 yards.
Yeah, you get a little bit older, Rob.
I'll be at your age anytime.
Yeah. As long as I keep my looks. I don't care.
I think you got anything to worry about. Klein with the handoff, and he'll pick up maybe 2 or 3.
I'll tell you, Woodbury's done a terrific job starting at the defensive line. The first possession, Collingswood seemed like they were picking up a little bit of momentum. The offensive line was doing pretty good. Since then, the Woodbury defensive line has really stacked them up, except for maybe a couple of athletic plays by Robinson. Austin had a couple of nice ones there, but nothing much going on the inside. There you see Brad Klein, 10 for 30 yards and only a 3.0 average. I mean, they've done a pretty good job on some of these guys, and it starts with that interior line. I mentioned Hickman earlier. These guys on that defensive line are doing a nice job.
And that play is sniffed out immediately. Ryan Dillard dropped for a loss. And, you know, Shawn, I'm a little surprised because Robinson has shown the propensity to throw effectively. A couple passes dropped earlier. And, you know, I think you got to keep that Woodbury defense honest, soften them up a little bit. Dillard, 3 carries, 3 losses. Oh, good night. That's like you at the tables in AC.
Yes, it is.
Fourth down. Panthers punting it away to the ever-dangerous Lamar Lancaster.
This is where you got to be careful if you're Collingswood.
High snap. Austin looks to field, will run, and he'll be dropped. An immense loss. We talked about that before. Not a good snap, but again, probably one that Austin could have fielded.
This is why defensive games are so neat to watch, because every play is so magnified. At 0-0, you have a play like that, and that could be the ball game right there. Woodbury's able to capitalize a huge mistake for Collingswood, but again, Woodbury has to do something offensively, has to be a little bit creative here to be able to punch one into the end zone and give your team something to work with.
24-yard loss on that play. The pitch to Lancaster, and he'll pick up about 7. The snap was from the 48 and went all the way back to the 24-yard line. So the field was cut in half, literally, by that botched snap. And Collingswood special teams having a heck of a time, and more problems here for the Panthers as someone is cramping up, could not pick up the number there on that player.
Well, second half here, you know, you're all warmed up, and you go and you cool down in the locker room, then you come out and you try to warm up again, you're going to see some cramps. Again, it's even magnified, and we've seen this over the last 4 or 5 years that we've been doing these games, and with teams like Woodbury or Clayton early in the season, we have teams where a lot of guys will go both ways. You see a lot of cramps. Collingswood not loaded with their roster either.
Well, that's Jesse Hamrick, the 5'9" senior linebacker that's down.
Yeah, he's one of the good returners that they had coming back at linebacker. Lose him to some cramps. That also might slow him down. Just trying to work that out. Get him back on the field as soon as possible will be Coach Baricki. And this is a key spot in the game, Rob. 9:24 right now in the third quarter, but there's 2 goose eggs on the board when you get an opportunity. It's going to be a little intense for Coach Baricki on that sideline now defensively.
Well, again, Woodbury trying to capitalize on that big mistake by the Collingswood special teams. And you see Hamrick now really favoring that one leg. And he'll come to the sideline as he continues to cramp up. Warm night.
Passer gained 6 yards on the last play to the Collingswood 18-yard line.
Probably in the low 70s.
You know, watch Valentine try and attack that position with Hamrick coming out. He got some inexperience filling in.
Collingswood showing blitz. Harvey hands off and stood up and dropped for a loss. That was Bundy. So a long third down, and Woodbury, you know, it's that injury almost kind of sucked the energy out of that Woodbury team, it seemed.
Yeah, right. You had a little momentum there. Sure, Collingswood's not going to want to trade that, though. Anthony Boyce on that play, number 62, 6 foot, 234, just a sophomore. There's some good young players on this Collingswood sideline.
8:35 and counting remaining here. Lancaster in motion, and he gets the handoff around the end, finds a seam into the secondary. Lancaster, and a big gain and a first down for the Thundering Herd. Their deepest penetration of the evening. First down. It looks to be goal to go.
Yeah, what has to scare you for Collingswood is just a matter of time before Lamar Lancaster is going to hurt you. Watch how he just gets that extra step here. He just busts through holes, and that's one of the things he's now added is he's gained a little weight. He's a little bit stronger, and you can expect to see Lancaster. And we saw that from Darrell Rhodes last year with Glasper, how he really matured into a fullback. Expect a full back with different things in arsenal. That's what you can expect now from Lancaster.
The pitch towards the end zone, bowling his way forward, but not enough. Maybe a pickup of one. Had a lot of ground to make up as a big hit made by Brendan Dentino.
Tackled by number 53, Brendan Dentino.
Dentino, just a sophomore, 6 foot, 205 pounds. Someone Barikian will be counting on for the years to come.
Lancaster being swarmed to the Collingswood 4-yard line. Second and goal for Woodbury.
Second and goal.
You're on touchdown.
Harvey has Lancaster, and he pitches. Lancaster cuts it back inside. Lancaster, and touchdown! Lamar Lancaster breaks the scoreless tie. Woodbury on top 6-0 with 7:41 left in the third quarter. And this all started with the botched punt.
Remember the problems on the kickoff that Woodbury had. Thought Collingswood had a little bit of momentum there, but it just takes one play, one foul up. That's exactly what happened. On that punt, snap over the head, gives Woodbury possession.
Harvey, the scramble out of the pocket, has room, shakes, bakes, in, untouched. 2-point conversion is good. So Zach Valentine said he kind of liked his kicking game. Well, obviously he bluffed.
With 7 minutes, 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Woodbury 8.
His kicking game just gave him 2 points instead of 1 because he didn't even want to try the extra point.
How do you delete that score? That score 8.
7-yard TD run by Lamar Lancaster, 5 plays, 22 yards. 2 minutes and 2 seconds after the botched punt. You see Lancaster, the cut upfield. Again, that vision to find the seam. He's just going to burst through there. He's already got good bounce. Now you mix that little bit of weight in there, combined with the speed. You got long distance Lamar Lancaster, who can dial it up in a hurry. Able to punch through. Now give Woodbury an 8-0 lead. The way the defense has played.
You mentioned in the open that one area of concern for Collingswood is perhaps that they would look ahead next week to obviously a strong Paulsboro team, and the following week West Deptford. And little time here elapsed in the third quarter, and quickly Woodbury scoring.
Collingswood did lose a significant nucleus of the team. You know, them linebackers were special last year, and when you lose that, you got to replace it. The quarterback, new quarterback. That's when you play teams like this, because they do have some good athletes.
Again, a low line drive on the return is Dillard, and he is stopped at about the 30-yard line.
Dillard's tackled at the 30-yard line. It's a 20-yard return for Dillard and a first and 10 for Collingswood.
This is Woodbury can get after it a little bit. And the defensive line has been doing pretty well. Now you expect them linebackers and safeties maybe to be a little bit more aggressive. They don't have to play so tense with a 0-0 tie. They can loosen up a little bit and kind of have some fun with it.
First and 10. And a big hit is laid out.
That's what I'm talking about right there. It's
A big hit, Anthony Usher bringing the heat. Someone whose name we did not call much of thus far, but Usher, a senior leader on this team.
Uncle is Kevin Ross, and Uncle Kevin's got to be pretty happy about this one. Watch him come through and bang! A decleater. Anthony Usher, a moonshot. Different sport, right? Usually they use that in baseball.
That's correct. Second down, Robinson hands off inside, not much there for Klein. And still, Collingswood stays on the ground.
Yeah, I would expect a little bit more from you with the Usher there. There's a lot you could have did with it.
Yeah, I'm not a big Usher guy, so I don't know. I know he's a rap artist, and I know he had that one big song. I don't even know the name of it. Sorry.
See, I would have thought something like Usher delivers him to his seat, something like that. You know, a little bit of bang, little Usher, you know, with a movie thing.
I thought we were referencing the rap artist. The pitch, and still driving forward, close to a first down. That looked to be Dillard.
You'll catch up. It's your first game.
You a big rap fan, Shawn?
I dabble in just about everything.
Yeah.
Keep up with the young kids.
What's your favorite Usher song?
Billie Jean or
See, now that's funny.
I couldn't. I just don't want to
Wasn't
give
it
you
Hey?
one. I like them all.
Wasn't that his big hit, Hey?
Hey, Caught Up is one of my favorites.
Caught Up? Yeah.
Caught Up is one of my
I think
favorites.
Stan helped you get caught up there.
Caught Up or
And it is first down Collingswood.
Our producer is disavowing his knowledge.
there's so many good
Right
ones.
now, we have hundreds of kids, thousands perhaps, listening to us, talking about what nerd merchants we are.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you speak for yourself.
Uh-huh.
Because you put Usher and Ludacris together.
You don't even know how to spell Ludacris.
Right. That's Ludacris. Listen, I keep in touch with what's
That's
going
your
on.
brother Darren funneling that information up to you.
I know it all. Rap, country.
Country rap.
That new genre they're calling country rap nowadays. A little bit of everything. Folks, we're still, our first game jitters are still here as well. We gotta catch up. Man, it's just like the kids. I feel like I'm in mid-season form then now with 5:19 left in the
You
third.
look good. You lost a lot of weight. You are in mid-season form. How much weight have you lost, Shawn?
A couple tens, maybe 20, 25 pounds. Getting down to my fighting weight. Yeah, 50, looked like 53, jumped. It's gonna pull him back.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
People are telling me, say, look, fat next to that little guy you work with.
You work with Narducci, or?
Both teams with 2 penalties now for 10 yards. Coach Bricky not happy with that.
I'm going to work with Mark on Monday. I'm going to tell him you said that.
Mark knows that wouldn't come from me.
Let's go, Al!
Second down, about 15. for the Panthers. 4:55 left in this third quarter. Robinson directing the offense. A little counter and not much there.
Nothing at all. Woodbury doing a nice job. Now when you combine that inside play and you get the linebackers firing to the outside and making the plays, cutting them down, that time, that was Gullidge negating anything to the outside. And that just limits you. There's nothing that you can, if you're not able to get to the outside, nothing's working for you on the inside. There's not much left.
You know, I'm a little bit surprised that, you know, again, Collingswood has been so hestant about using the pass because essentially Woodbury can just pack it in. It's been so one-sided in terms of the disparity. 31 runs and 3 passes. Here's a double reverse. Quan Austin, he's going to throw it. He's got a man wide open. Underthrown, but hits him at the 35. Finally down on a knee is Sam Robinson.
There's a flag down, though, back by the line of scrimmage.
And it's a legal man downfield. And the Collingswood coaching staff is beside itself.
Let's see if we can catch it. That was a nice pass by Austin. They go with a reverse pass, wide open downfield. Lineman cannot release, and you wouldn't even imagine a lineman going downfield. There's no reason for him to. But a nice pass, able to corral it. Was Dillard. They fooled everyone. What a horrendous blow for Collingswood. You needed a big play there. It was kind of stale. You're trying to get the crowd into it, your team into it. Nice call. And
well, that ball was so far underthrown. That ought to illustrate to you at home just how open he was. Literally no one within 25 yards. And he just waited for that ball to come down.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. Replay third down.
And again, as a coach, you just scratch your head. Perfect call. You really have to credit the Collingswood offensive coordinator on that call. And the pitch fumbled by Austin. Austin still having trouble, and it is recovered, I believe, by Collingswood.
To me, it just seems like Collingswood is stale, Rob. They just, from the kickoff, there hasn't been much fire in this team. There really wasn't much fire from either team, to be honest with you. But now Woodbury has turned it up a little bit. They have the momentum now. Lancaster in terrific position. Remember what happened last time when Collingswood tried to punt. Here's the last play. Trying to pick it up.
That's about everything that you're coached not to do. Yeah, simply fall on the ball and start all over again. So the troubles continue here for Collingswood. Down to 2:50 left in this third quarter, and they will punt it away. A booming kick over the head of Lancaster. He will watch it bounce all the way inside the 20-yard line, and that perhaps is the best play of the evening for the Collingswood Panthers. We'll step away. 2:38 left, third quarter. Woodbury on top, 8-0. Welcome back to Collingswood High School. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. Third quarter, Woodbury on top in the opener for both Colonial Conference teams. Woodbury striking first in the third quarter. It was Lancaster running it in, and then Harvey adding the 2-point conversion. That's the difference now. 8-0 here in the third quarter. That was a 55-yard punt. And that's quite a turnaround after the last punt went 24 yards in the opposite direction.
Yeah, this is where they set up now, that they can play good defense. Collingswood would then get the ball in pretty good field position when you have Lancaster dancing around in that backfield. Again, the momentum's everything in this game.
Second down, Harvey keeps into the secondary. Harvey, and he'll have enough for the first down.
Yeah, you see Zach Valentine on the opposite sideline fired up about that. And he sees his team be able to get a first down.
Good for 7 yards.
The waning only minute 42 left in the quarter.
The first down.
I think he's happy. Maybe he's really upset.
It's tough to tell. .125 left. And inside, the handoff. That goes to Bundy. Pickup of about 4, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, the way this game is going, and the reason why I say that is because the way this game is going, if you're backed up in your own end with the field position being so important after a huge punt, you know, anything can happen. You just saw what happened with Collingswood. You mess up a punt, and you give them, you know, an opportunity to get this game tied up. You just want to get it out of your own end and try to work from there. And that first down, monumental when Woodbury trying to win this game. At least they're able to keep this going and get the ball in this guy's hand.
Into the secondary, breaking through. Lancaster. No one's going to catch Lamar Lancaster. Touchdown, Woodbury.
That's a 67-yard touchdown run.
67-yard touchdown run for Lamar Lancaster. And now the Herd, right before the end of this third quarter ending with 31 seconds remaining, on top 14-0. And they'll come out to attempt the point after.
Well, I know West Deptford is in the crowd, and they have seen Lamar Lancaster is this year's Cordell Young, a guy who can break it in a hurry.
And the kick is no good.
Watch him here. Watch him just kick it into overdrive once he breaks through the line. Again, makes that first guy miss, bumps into his own guy, and then watch here. Boom! He's to the outside, and see it. He's off to the races. There is no one even close to him as he turns on the jets here. Great breakaway speed. Lamar Lancaster is a name people are going to get real familiar with in a hurry this year in Gloucester County.
There you see the drive, 4 plays, 83 yards, capped by the 67-yard touchdown run by Lamar Lancaster. And his last 3 carries, he has scored 2 touchdowns to put Woodbury on top. And this Collingswood offense now is going to be hard-pressed to come back from a 14-point deficit.
11 carries, 119 yards. Not a bad average. Of course, a lot of that came on that just 67-yard touchdown run.
Up to that point, Collingswood have done a nice job keeping him in check.
But you see that from the good backs. You remember last year with Darrell Rhodes, where you're facing a decent team and it only takes a couple of big runs. Not only do they break the game open, win the game for you, but you find out that they ended up with 150, 160 yards when it seemed like, you know, they had an average night going for most of it.
So Woodbury will again kick it away, and it's going to be Dillard. Dillard fumbles the football, and it's fallen on by the Herd, and now we're going to have personal foul penalty as the Herd went after that ball. That's a tough call because you're never quite sure if that ball is going to come loose or not, but nonetheless, this is going to go against the Herd.
Personal foul breaking on Woodbury.
Collingswood special teams have had a nightmare.
Yeah. That's just a lack of focus right there. It just seems like, you know, calling that piling on. But
foul. And kicking team, first down.
But again, I just don't see Collingswood with any sign of life whatsoever. They just seem completely flat. And almost like going through the motions. Almost like seems like it's the end of the year.
Yeah. First and 10. Robinson sneaks, pushes forward, and still nothing up in the air. Going to continue to try to pound the football on the ground.
Could be the last play of the third quarter.
We have a Woodbury player injured, so had it not been for the injury, this would be.
Yeah, another cramp.
And that, of course, is Usher. Now comes the trainer with the pickle juice, Melody Arno.
What do you think Zach is saying to him right now?
I'm guaranteed he's cracking jokes.
AC penalties pretty even. Woodbury with a big personal foul. Gives them a slight disadvantage.
Boy, I tell you, Usher's getting manhandled by the trainer. She couldn't pick him up by the hand, so she grabbed him by the face mask. Doesn't look like he's telling jokes currently.
No. Then again, there's the possibility.
Second down. The pitch, it's Austin. Austin caught from behind, and he's going to take a beating.
Yeah, nothing is working right now for Collingswood.
That will do it for the third quarter. There was a pair of Lamar Lancaster runs in this quarter that are the difference. Woodbury heads to the fourth quarter on top by 14.
Sorry.
Well, I've been urging the Collingswood team to throw the football. When we were in break, Robinson unleashed one, a big gainer, and the Panthers are on the move. The first play of the fourth quarter, just 7 seconds in, and already some deep penetration into Woodbury territory. At the Herd 39, at first and 10 for the Panthers. Klein, your lone running back. In motion, Austin. Inside, Klein. Pushing forward, and Klein will pick up about 3.
Inside handoff to number 44, Brad Klein. Tackle by number 44, Mike Lavin.
This is where the conditioning comes into play, because obviously they're very tired at this point. This is the first time that they've had an actual game where they haven't been able to kind of sit out a few reps and let the subs go in. It's a little humid, a little warm, and this is why you condition.
It's not about what you're doing now. It's what you did over the last 3 or 4 months to get yourself ready for this spot.
Robinson flushed out of the pocket, throws, has a man, and again, Robinson able to pick up some positive yards as he finds Brian Dillard. So Robinson illustrates some of that elusiveness.
And you're right. I mean, coming out and throwing the ball here would loosen things up. And he's such a good athlete. He's able to make one guy miss here, pick up and spot a man, find the open receiver. Not a big gain, but just keeps the defense on its toes a little bit. If they're firing back and able to play that run consistently, you got to be able to mix it up.
Third down and a penalty flag here. Zach Valentine, I was watching him. He didn't like what was going on. He was literally jumping up and down. So.
Dead ball, encroachment on the offense.
Well, it seems at every turn, Shawn, that Collingswood has found a new way to shoot itself in the foot.
There you see the penalties. 4 for 20 now.
It's now 3rd and 8 for the Panthers.
That's a light pole in the middle of your screen. Wonder if that might be something with your TV.
That's right.
It's not. Your TV's fine. It's just one of them there light poles.
Collingswood 4 for 10 on the evening on 3rd down conversions. Robinson, and he's going to call timeout.
40% right there. 40% on 3rd down. 40% on 3rd down conversions.
Put that calculator away now.
Don't need it. Like James Bundy, we're both math whizzes.
Well, this is a down here where you've got to pick up some positive yardage. You know, the Panthers have had the lead in time of possession, but that is so misleading because they have not thrown the ball. And obviously with the number of times Woodbury has thrown the ball, it's going to stop the clock. But nonetheless, here, this is a down where you don't necessarily need to pick up the first down. You got to get yourself into position that it's going to be 4th and short, at least.
You got to be able to give yourself a chance. And this is a spot where you'd love to see Robinson in the option play. Possibly give him a chance to either run or maybe find somebody downfield. Ball's got to be in this guy's hands because he's the best player on this team.
3rd down, and again they're going to look to throw, and nobody home.
Nice. He saw Bundy wide open, figured I'm going to look for him. Unfortunately, Bundy plays for Woodbury. That ball was directly to the linebacker, and there was no one else around.
Well, you got to give some credit to the Woodbury line as they really collapsed on Austin, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So, looking for the home run ball there, coming up short. 6 passes on the evening for Collingswood.
35 running plays.
Trips left for Robinson. Klein in the backfield. Will stay in to block. Robinson sprints to his left, cuts it back, jump, throw, finds a man, and that's going to be short. Well defended. Ryan Dillard will come up about 3 yards shy, and that's the kind of play they needed on 3rd down.
I agree with you. And here's why. It just freezes the defense when you have a guy with that athletic talent who's rolling out. And that opens things up. And that opens things up for Dillard. You have Dillard, you have Austin, you have guys who can make plays for you, but you need to give them a little bit of room. And right now, Woodbury's smothering. You got to get Robinson on the outside, let him move a little bit. They converge on him. He opens something up for one of his teammates. Not able to get the ball down past the yardage marker, so obviously in favor of Woodbury. But again, the cramps are starting to really starting to hurt Collingswood. And these guys are going to be sitting down a few plays too. And we saw Hammerlick earlier come out of the game with some cramps. Not sure who she is, but she looks like she's running the show down there.
Well, I'm looking at their,
why don't you get out there?
their list of personnel, and I suppose it could be Dr. Lambert, the team doctor. Otherwise, every other person has a male name except for, I don't think it's Fuzzy.
No, probably not.
No.
Not Chuck either.
No.
Yep, not going to even guess.
Down on the field, and I don't think that would be the team doctor because I would assume that team doctor would be out there taking a look. So could be Barikian's wife. Could be telling him what he needs to pick up at the store on the way back.
Listen to me on this one. You need to pick it up. I don't know if you noticed, you're down 2 scores. And it's like
that's something my wife would do. Listen, I tell you what, Rob, you got to get this team together.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but you're losing.
And I think it's all coaching, Rob. That's what my wife would say to me. That's a good sign. Dillard able to walk off the field under his own power.
Not my wife. My wife's your typical fan. She just holler from the stands, fire the bum. He's got to go. She says that, I think, about me in the booth. Once in a while you hear that from the stands. That's my wife.
Yeah, it's funny because my wife says the same thing about you. She said, fire that bum. 14-0 here. Woodbury on top.
Woodbury going to be content to just put the ball in the running back's hands, try to move the clock a little bit, maybe pick up a first down here and there, and let the defense continue to play as well as it has.
Harvey in trouble, and he is sacked for a big loss. They drive him back. They will spot his forward progress. But that is the third sack of the evening for the Panthers.
In the backfield for a loss by a host of talented Panthers.
See this big difference in rushing yardage. A lot of that came from Lamar Lancaster, 173 to 91, and Collingswood running the ball has had a lot more opportunities, a lot more attempts than Woodbury has had.
Third down, long. Woodbury, Harvey, hand off, cut inside. Lancaster trying to shake tacklers, unable to do so, does pick up a few, and Woodbury will be forced to punt.
Tackle by number 67, Mike Hawko.
Hey, Collingswood, they need some type of big play, whether it be in the kicking game, maybe try to go after, maybe try to block the punter. Something's got to happen for Collingswood to try and get into this game because the offense is not showing much signs of any life at all. I mean, they are really struggling. They need some type of spark.
Big punt return would be just what the doctor ordered for the Panthers. A high punt coming down, bounces at the 30, and not well played by Austin as it is down at the 20-yard line. So 7:32 remains, and the Panthers have a lot of field in front of them.
It's got to be probably frustrating for Coach Baricki, too. A lot of expectations coming into the game. And you could say so much, but if your team comes out flat, and I know you got to fire them up. There's so much you could do as a coach. You got to get them ready for the game, but they need to come out with a little bit of inspiration, execute. And you haven't seen that today from Collingswood. I don't know if they thought maybe that last year's Woodbury team, they're going to be able to beat them up. When Collingswood was able to do last year with its defense.
Robinson back to pass, has a man across the middle, and the hookup as he finds Peter Algaba. And again, just surprised that Collingswood hadn't gone to the air show a little earlier. 25-yard connection, 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
Yeah, this is a nice touch pass. Pierre Robinson right here just floating that ball up. Perfectly thrown between 3 Woodbury defenders, and that shows you the touch by the senior.
1st and 10, Robinson back to pass, has a man on the slant, and the defender had fallen down. James Gullidge had fallen down, but the ball short hops Austin. Otherwise, that may have gone to the house.
Yeah, that's one Robinson wanted to have back. He looked like he had a little bit of problems with the snap and then maybe trying to hurry the throw, but that slant well into the dirt before it could get to Austin.
That right here, we need a receiver. You're down there talking.
4 straight completions by Robinson before that pass, so he's been on target. He's 5 of 8 for 70 yards so far tonight.
2nd and 10. Again, by going to the air, what this also does is allow Collingswood to eat up, or excuse me, not to eat up clock. Robinson keeps, directs traffic, cuts back inside. He'll pick up about 8.
That's what you really want to see from him. This is a guy that, that's quick 8 yards, Rob. He doesn't look like much, or it might be 7 yards, but it's able to pick up yards easily by moving him out of the pocket.
Now 3rd and 4 for Collingswood.
Third down, Robinson. Handoff inside, and again, that Woodbury line holds.
Big James Jones, 5'9", 235, just a freshman, taking up a little space on the inside.
Hit at the line of scrimmage by number 76, James Jones.
Gonna get to stay in the game for another play. Jumping around out there, a little excited, the freshman.
Now 4th and 3 for Collingswood.
Nice job by Valentine, too, probably trying to get some of the defensive linemen, trying to rotate him in and out.
Robinson sprints, throws it up, picked off by Lancaster. Well, he had 2 men there. I don't know if it was underthrown or overthrown, but it was Lancaster in the middle of the 2. He comes away with the interception. They've been better off just knocking it down, but Woodbury will take over possession of the football.
He's going to roll out here. He knows he has to make a play for the first down, 1/4. Trying to find someone. You're right. I don't know if that was I think he was trying to go deep that time. Just underthrew his man. Ryan Dillard. Some of these Collingswood fans now, stands are starting to empty out a little bit. Disappointing opening night for the home crowd. It's got to be pretty exciting over there on sidelines for Woodbury.
Small gain for Lancaster. And the clock continues to be Woodbury's ally. So Woodbury making a statement here, Shawn. Of course, Collingswood will go on and face the defending Group 1 champions, Paulsboro, next week, so things aren't going to get much easier for the Panthers. Second and 8. In motion, that's Kersey. And dropped for a loss.
Yeah, not much there for Kersey, but Valentine will take it. Again, just trying to move the clock along with a 2-touchdown lead.
To number 20, Thomas Kersey. Brought down in the backfield by number 15, Peter Alvarez.
A lot of cramps out there, Rob. A lot of cramps. Got to hydrate yourself before it's not done during the day. You got to do that during the week. Start drinking a ton of water.
Woodbury just 1 for 7 on 3rd down.
Just if you're going to look at one negative thing for Woodbury is you have not done well on 3rd down.
3rd down and long. Harvey hands off, and again, nothing doing for the Herd. But Valentine going to play conservative here. Why put it in the air? You're going to continue to move the clock, avoid the interception. Smart football, rely on your defense. That's been successful all evening long. And back to receive Ryan Dillard. He had a slight limp, as he looks like he may be cramping up as well. We're down to 3:30 left, and now finally a whistle blows. And timeout. We'll step away. 3:31 remains here in the 4th quarter. Woodbury on top of Collingswood in the season opener. Welcome back to Collingswood High School. Woodbury about to punt for the 4th time this evening. Stat courtesy of our crack stat man, Mike DeChico.
Cheek.
Always does a great job. The inimitable one. So, Woodbury will punt it away. And this ball will be down at about the 38-yard line. Remember, it was the gaff from the Collingswood special teams unit, the 24-yard botched snap that resulted in Woodbury's first score. And, you know, whenever you score first, it's a big boost. But when you're the first team to score after a scoreless first half, I mean, that is even magnified far more.
And again, I just didn't see the life out of Collingswood tonight. You have that happen to you on a punt, on a botched punt, and Lancaster is able to capitalize, punch it in for Woodbury. It's just real. Sorry. It's just real curious as to what Coach Bricky will say to his team about the of how they just came out tonight. I mean, completely flat. I didn't see anything at all. Nothing at all from this team.
You know, one of the things that I think have hurt this team is that they haven't returned a single punt all evening.
Pretty strange.
And again, that really illustrates that this special teams unit has really hurt this Collingswood team tonight.
Yeah, they have struggled, and when you know, I don't know if it's not one, you know, to play aggressive, and maybe the game plan was to come in here, try to wear them down a little bit. But coming out the first game of the year, I think you'd want to, you know, be aggressive, be a little bit more assertive. We saw that from Woodbury in the first play from scrimmage. And they try to go up top, and that puts your team into the game. It gives them a little bit of excitement. You know, they're excited about the first play. They're excited about getting out there, and it's almost like you're backing them. You're saying, all right, look, guys, we'll go up top, you know, for the first play. We'll see what happens there.
That's a good point. Quarterback draw, and Robinson may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
And I'm not saying Coach Bricky wasn't thinking, all right, well, listen, our game plan is we know that Woodbury doesn't have the numbers. Let's try, and our game plan is just wear them down, try to pound them through the middle, and that's what they attempted to do, it looked like early on, trying to run the ball through the teeth of the defense. And when that doesn't work, though, you have to be able to adjust. You have to say, all right, listen, maybe we need to go through the air a little bit. They did have a little bit of success, but you have a guy who's coming from wide receiver now playing quarterback, and a lot of times people from the stands say, why don't you throw it more? And we were even talking about that, but you don't know. Maybe the guy doesn't feel comfortable yet after, you know, the first few practices. A guy who played wide receiver, he's playing quarterback. You saw stuff in the scrimmages to say, you know what, he's not ready to start really throwing the ball. We're going to need a couple of games before I feel comfortable letting this kid loose.
Well, Robinson, an ill-advised pass, 2 interceptions in his last 2 attempts, just threw it up for grabs and playing center field. Woodbury coming away with, again, another turnover.
An interception, face massing on the defense, on the return, first down.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Collingswood has a better week of practice, because we're going to have them again next week. We're going to have that Paulsboro-Collingswood game at Paulsboro for you right here on Channel 5. I would expect that they are a little bit more pumped next week. They better be.
I would think they'll have a tough week of practice this week. Lancaster cuts it back, and it looks like a flag where usually you see holding.
However, there is a flag on the play. Preliminary indication is holding against Woodbury.
And it's decision time, whether you want to take that penalty and give them an additional down to run more time off, which is what Collingswood will do.
Are you Penn State or Notre Dame?
Am I Penn State or Notre Dame?
Yeah, which one you root?
Holding, offense. Repeat first down.
Can't say that I really favor either team per se as in terms of being a fan, but I would think that Notre Dame should have a appreciable edge there.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, with the name of Leary, you must be a big Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, I just love college football. I don't know.
And a fumble here. Collingswood, just what the doctor ordered, so 2:27 left. We'll step away. 14-0, Woodbury on top. Welcome back. Ball tipped and caught. And coming down with the reception, Sam Robinson from Pierre Robinson. So Collingswood trying to move the football here as the clock continues to roll. 2:12 remaining.
Little tip here.
Hit a lot on that ball.
Right into the hands of Sam Robinson. Got a little time left, under 2 minutes.
Quarterback draw, Robinson pushing forward, still on his feet. Robinson, no quitting Robinson. And that's enough for a first down.
Yeah, we saw that from him tonight. That's a tough kid. We saw him earlier fighting for yardage in the beginning of the game. And you're right, this guy's not going to quit. This is the sign of life that I think the Collingswood faithful, a lot of them maybe are in their cars right now. They wanted to see throughout this game.
First and goal at the 9-yard line, in motion. And this play strung out well by Woodbury, finally cut down is Peter Algaba. And Collingswood will call timeout. Collingswood not only needs to score here, they need to score relatively quickly.
That's the second timeout for Collingswood. They have one remaining.
You know, assuming they score here and get points, given the nature of their offense, even if they recover an onside kick, they're going to need as much time as possible to move that football to tie this game.
Yeah, I don't think it's from a lack of ability, though. I think they have some guys that you can send out there. Dillard and Austin look like they're pretty decent athletes, and Robinson, I think, can get the ball to them. So even though we didn't see it from them tonight, I think they have the ability to move the ball downfield further than what, over the years we see teams like, that run that wishbone or something. They run a 3-back attack, and it's very hard for them to even move it because they don't throw the ball at all. And you say, all right, well, this is going to be hard for them to march down the field. They just don't have that. I think Collingswood may have the ability to do it. We haven't seen them yet.
You also have to credit the Woodbury defense. They've played a fine game this evening. And I know that Coach Valentine, being a linebacker, takes great pride in that defensive squad. Robinson now 6 for 11 with a pair of interceptions on the evening for 79 yards, 58 yards on the ground. Second down. Robinson pitches. And again, it's a double reverse. Austin has some room to operate, but just closing on it towards the sideline and finally knocked out of bounds. The play looked like it had possibilities, but it just took way too long for Austin to finish the deal there, as he had way too much real estate to recover from. Most Woodbury really overplayed that.
Yeah, most of the plays tonight, everything that's a stretch play where they try to pull it to the outside, Woodbury has been able to converge on it pretty quickly, and a lot of it has to do with Collingswood's being so slow in developing those plays. Everything has been very slow, and you don't have the big guys up front for Collingswood to be able to do that. Woodbury's able to get to the ball quickly with their speed, and it just doesn't work.
Third and goal, minute 16, Robinson. And he's hit from behind. Robinson hit James Bundy with the big sack here. And Collingswood will call timeout.
Watch Bundy coming on the hunt from the backside on this play. Good shot on here. Robinson, you see Bundy untouched, flying in.
That sack by Bundy was for a 6-yard loss.
Pretty easy tackle here.
Fourth and goal for Collingswood from the 15-yard line.
Drags him down to the grass. That's one of the easier ones. And you don't get touched. You come from the backside. Quarterback isn't even looking at you.
Again, that illustrates some of the athleticism of Bundy because he had to close quite a bit of ground there. He was able to do so as Robinson rolled right, and that'll bring up 4th down and 16. And if you're Woodbury, the one thing you want to avoid here is a penalty. Just a minute 1 remaining in this football game. See if they try to isolate a man or whether they're just kind of throw it up in the bunch. We got trips right. Algaba, Robinson, and Austin. Split left with Dillard. He's one-on-one. Just to be matched up against Bundy. Robinson, and he'll throw it up. Looking for his man, and it's picked off. Picked off in the end zone, and now returning it all the way down the sideline, still on his feet, and finally thrown out of bounds is Woodbury's Shawnee Kersey, and that will do it for the hopes of the Collingswood Panthers.
Number 3, Shawnee Kersey on the interception.
Kersey's he's a good-looking young player. I mean, he's got good size. Already talked about how athletic he is, and this ball's just thrown up. And that's just something there where Robinson's just trying to make a play. It's 4th down. He's just trying to make something happen, and nothing's there for him.
Well, Zach Valentine said that Shawnee Kersey is one of the best receivers he's seen in years. So that's some heady stuff, and there you see
they've
why.
had some good ones. They've had some good ones. They had a good one last year, and Dirk Rankin was a guy who came back for him. He was a good receiver.
Woodbury will take a knee, and the clock will run down here. They'll probably have to have one more snap before it is official.
A good start for Woodbury.
Much better result than last year's opener that we had here on Channel 5.
Yeah, we had a Gateway Haddonfield game. Didn't work out for the local Gateway squad, but it does work out for the local Woodbury squad. They go to 1-0.
Well, a penalty will delay the inevitable.
False start, offense. Still 2nd down.
10 seconds left now. One more snap, should there not be any penalties. And Woodbury will have shut out Collingswood. And that will do it. So Zach Valentine and his Woodbury Thundering Herd able to blank. Would look to be a team that would challenge for the Group 2 playoffs. Ranked number 5 by the Courier Post. And Woodbury, an impressive 14-0 victory here in the season opener for both teams. Stick around. Post-game interviews and a wrap after this.
Welcome back to Collingswood High School. Woodbury victorious 14-0 in the Colonial Conference opener for both Collingswood and Woodbury. Rob Christ along with head coach Zach Valentine. And coach, obviously a big win for you. Both Shawn and I really like that opening call, kind of opening things up, taking them by surprise, illustrating a lot of confidence in this team and ensuring that they're going to be back on their heels all afternoon or all evening.
Well, one thing we try to do is to be consistent. We tried to make things happen offensively, defensively, and as well as his kicking game, and I think the kids put it all together tonight.
Again, this is a Woodbury team that always seems to be so explosive, but your defensive output today was tremendous. A shutout. I don't know the last time Woodbury had a shutout, but as a former linebacker, that's something you have to be especially proud of.
Well, we always have with shutouts. You know, one of the best things that we try to do during practices is try to get turnovers. And the biggest thing that we had going for us tonight is that Our guys were physical. They wanted to play a physical football game, and they came out and did that.
Well, again, one of the things that you continue to do is pound the ball with Lamar Lancaster, someone who was successful throughout the season last year and someone who obviously broke the game open tonight.
Well, Lamar is a good talent. He's a great talent, and one thing we try to do is put the ball in his hand. Another thing we try to do is try to spread the ball out with guys like Shawn. You did it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Another thing we try to do is spread the ball out and try to get the ball in Shawn Kersey's hands, as well as Thomas Kersey and Jimmy Bundy.
Well, again, this is a Woodbury team that you said was very talented from the outset, someone that you expect, a team that you expect a lot from this year, and obviously beating an excellent Collingswood team. That bodes well for you and has to engender a lot of confidence in your team.
Well, there's a lot of talent on this football team, and the thing is, there's a lot of young talent, and we just can't stop here with this game and this win right here. We just want to turn the page on this and get ready for the next one.
Well, again, congratulations, Coach Valentine. My partner, Shawn Leary, has our star of the game, Lamar Lancaster.
Lamar, congratulations. A couple of big runs for you. Coach, he knows how to have a good time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Does he always keeps things that loose?
Yes, actually he does. He's crazy.
He's crazy?
He need help. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Well, he knows how to generate wins. Tonight was a good indication of that, and he came out. What about when you guys come out, you throw the ball deep? Is that, as players, does that loosen you guys up and get you a little bit excited about when the coach says, all right, listen, we're going to try to go deep here, and it gets you more into the game?
Yes, actually, yeah, it does. Give me enough time to relax. I'm tired of running the ball most of the times, but other than that, yeah, it gives us time, get ready for everything.
Over the last couple of years, you guys had, obviously you were one of the players that had a bulk of the carries, but now you got some other weapons on this team. Kersey comes in with a lot of high expectations now. Do you guys see yourself with a lot of different weapons, and is Woodbury on the rise again? I mean, over the last couple of years, you guys have been in the thick of things in the playoffs, but this is a team that people need to be at least concerned with.
Truthfully, I think so, yeah. Like, we're a sleeping team. Like, everybody sleeps on us. So we got a lot of weapons. Jimmer Bunny, Tommy Kersey, Shawnee Kersey, like you said. We got a lot of weapons, and most of the teams they're worrying about me. So that helps us out a lot more than everybody thinks. So I think we should be pretty good this year.
Well, you look like you need a cheeseburger.
I need more than that. I need to sleep.
All right. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And go get the coach. He said he owes you a cheeseburger or something from McDonald's. So yeah,
Thank you.
you'll get him over there. Well, this guy, I mean, you can see how much fun he is. He likes to joke around. We had to do like 5 takes of that because because he just likes to have fun. But this is a team I think is having a lot of fun this year, and I think that's one of the things you'll see from Woodbury's. When you win, you're going to have some fun. But a team who can really rally around the defense. They have some weapons on the team, and Lamar Lancaster shows he's a guy, as you say, can take it to the house.
Well, again, obviously a very talented team. We mentioned before that Woodbury always seems to have a lot of offensive weapons. This year, no different. But, the effort they put forth defensively is something that we don't always see from Woodbury teams. And obviously, it's defense that typically wins championships. So that certainly bodes well. Woodbury has made a statement here that they are a force to be reckoned with within Group 1.
They can fly around the football, and it's a team that likes to hit. They like to have a good time, and you have LL who can move the chains for you. But then you have these other guys. I thought Bundy played a heck of a game tonight. He was all over the field. And you got to give credit to that defensive line, especially the interior of the defensive line. They played extremely well. Collingswood going to have to come out a little stronger against Paulsboro next week because I thought they were completely flat. And Woodbury came out, throwing the football, getting excited about the game. They walk out of here victorious.
In many ways, it's kind of a coach's worst nightmare. I don't know what head coach Barikian had felt about his team talent-wise, whether he felt they were deserving of their ranking, etc. But, I know that whenever your team is ranked high, your greatest fear is that your kids are reading the papers and they're just, kind of thinking they're a top-notch team without working towards becoming that top-notch team. And, obviously this is going to be a rude reminder that, they're going to have to start from scratch this week. And one thing they're really going to have to make a few corrections, and it's their special teams. I mean, that was really a major letdown, and in many ways led to their defeat tonight.
Yeah, the only thing they'll be thinking about with 5 losses if they don't improve the special teams and just the overall play. They won't be thinking about number 5 in the polls. They'll be thinking, can we get 5 wins on our schedule?
Well, as usual, we started out tonight with Zach Valentine, had our conversation. He had a good time, and I think tonight he's going to have even a better time celebrating the big 14-0 victory over Collingswood in the season opener for both teams. Once again, for my partner, Shawn Leary, I'm Rob Chris. For my producer, Stan Ritter, I want to thank you for joining us in the season opener tonight from Collingswood. It was Woodbury defeating the Panthers of Collingswood 14-0. Next week at Paulsboro, the same Panthers will take on the Paulsboro Red Raiders and look to rebound. Look to have you next week. Good night, everybody.